Right, you weren't expecting me tonight, huh? Yeah, I said, first of all, good evening, everyone. Good morning, depending where you are. I did say I was going to stream GFL this week, and I was going to keep to that. I was going to do it earlier, but I just wasn't, frankly, in the mood. So, here we are. So this event's a bit weird. Well, it's a big event, first of all. So the whole thing about this is that the story's in 3 parts. We only got the first 2 parts for now, hence why it says part 1 and 2. It's not the entirety of the event. This one unlocks in like 2 weeks though, so we'll do that when it comes around, but for now we're just going to have these first 2 parts, because this is plenty of story for us to get through. I don't think I could get through all 3 in a single stream anyway. Well, I probably could, but it would be like an exercise in persistence, shall we say. Yeah, I mean, I've touched the supplies obviously for my dailies, but I haven't actually touched the story at all in this event. So let's see what we're dealing with this time. I wasn't too impressed with Mimmersbrunner's loop when it happened. That was the last big event in GFL. I wasn't really a massive fan of how that was written, even though I enjoyed the time we spent with the characters in it. But after that, we had Ex Umbra, which was Niketa's event. I didn't stream that one because, well, after Mimmersbrunner's loop, I didn't really have faith in the story that it was warranted streaming it enough. I just wanted to do it in my own time. That one was actually pretty good. It was a nice enclosed story. It added to the world a little bit. It had some fresh characters. I couldn't complain about it. It was a step up in quality compared to the storytelling from Mimmersbrunner's. So, let's see if they can keep that going, because this is a very recent rewrite from what I know. Like this event is a very recent incarnation from the Chinese server, which they do eventually want to align with the global. So it'll be interesting to see if that's reflected here. Obviously, I don't think it's as major of a story as, like, what was the last, like, major... I guess the last major event was Aphelion, because that had some, like, serious stuff happening. Mimmersbrunner's loop was kind of... I guess they wanted it to be, but it didn't really come off as such, because it was still kind of like a side plot. And I know for a fact that the next one after this is going to be Deep Oblivion, which has the next, like, big lore drop, which is basically the event we get all the UMP sisters, I think. Well, where we get the UMP sisters. So that should be fun. But we'll see how this holds up. Obviously, there's going to be some battles here and there, but battles are kind of a trivial thing for me in the stories at the moment, so... I mean, that's just the route they took. Also, it's non-voiced, so it's not like I'm going to be talking over anything. And here we have Belka, the self-proclaimed, and I guess in some ways actual sister to Klukai, aka 416. I think a lot of people hate on Belka because of her character archetype. She's a... you know, she's the clingy, slightly bratty, siscon type. And she hates on Mishti all the time, which I find quite funny. I think she's a nice dynamic in 404. Now that 45 and 9, aka Leather and Lena, have kind of taken a step back from 404's ground operations. They're kind of doing their own thing for Kalina as part of the Nomfa. That's like that's what I know about the story details anyway. So of course we have Belka and Andorus serving in 404 instead, which I think Belka kind of inherits the role of the energetic, happy-go-lucky person in the unit that UMP9 used to fulfill. I think that's kind of her role. Obviously, she doesn't... I don't think she can really ever fill the shoes of UMP9 because, you know, Lena is iconic. But you know, give her time. Like, I'm hoping this event demonstrates that she's more than just, I love my sister Klukai and I hate Mishti, you know? Because that's basically all she has been presented as up until this point. It doesn't sound like a good start. You know what? This explains a lot of things. The fact that when she wasn't in 404, she went out of her way to find the base, only to be treated as an intruder. Vagrancy, displacement, no friends, no companions. Really hard to tell what Klukai actually thought in that moment, whether it was actually compassion for her sister, or whether it's because if I don't do this, it's going to be a lot of trouble, so crap. Maybe there was just an opening for her, who knows. Oh, I see. I guess Klukai might feel a bit bad for that incident then. If Belko got hurt because of one of their operations, she might blame herself for that. For, like, not being good enough or something. Maybe not as, like, self-deprecating, but she'll be like, well, you know, like, shit happens, but we'll just do better next time. Because we're 404, bitch. It's not actually what she would say, but... I mean, it could be. Not at all. She has a very big heart for specific people. Namely us, but you know. Neural records. Oh, okay, so... Yeah. So they have been doing these kind of events where, basically these events are the commander and the doll in question sitting down together, and they're basically just going through the neural logs. I remember they did this with Yuhi, I think? Yuhi, yeah, they basically went through the neural logs about a story that happened to Yuhi. I'm guessing that's what we're going to do with Belka here, which... It's alright. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of this storytelling format because it feels a bit lazy. You're basically just recounting things that happened in the past, but it's also... I guess that's also good for, like, establishing a character that doesn't have much to them right now. But I think the thing that, I mean, it's not putting a lot of faith in me about the story for this event going forward. If it's going to be Belka and then Andorus's, like, data logs, we might see some interesting stuff, though. The main thing I don't like about it is that we have content in the game, which is, like, these text stories in the archives that are basically, like, side stories to establish the backgrounds of characters. I don't like that we're getting events which focus on these stories instead of just getting the side material that we can read through in our own time. It just feels like it feels like they're leaning back on that as it's filler content. Like, it feels like it's filler content. Which, you know, every gacha game is going to have some type of, like, filler to, like, tie that over between the big things, but, like, we've essentially had nothing but filler for, like, so long in this game. Obviously, like, obviously Global has the benefit of foresight because of, I'm just gonna auto this. Global has the benefit of foresight on the fact that we know what banners are coming, we know what events are in the horizon. We don't know when they're coming. That's one thing. We don't know because they completely changed the order that they're releasing things for us. Probably because of the accelerated schedule. But, there's one important thing to take note of, is that we know what's coming, and there is, like, people have vouched that the story gets good, like, really good in this game. And it's the same story as what happened in GFL 1. Like, let's be honest. Like, that happened in GFL 1. The beginning of GFL 1 was very uninspired. Like, it had some, like, it had great characters, but the story was kind of, like, really... I don't want to say simple, but it was very two-dimensional. And it was only at a certain point, I believe it was Continuum Shift, that the story of GFL, because they got an entirely new writing team, really started to pick up and get good. And I feel like that's just what's happening here. Now, the fact of the matter is, why are we going through this again? It's not a good thing that we're going through this again, you know? Like, I heard about the disastrous launch of GFL in China. GFL 2, should I say, in China. And how, like, they had basically had to rewrite, like, a bunch of, like, old content because it just wasn't meeting the standards of its players coming out of, like, GFL 1. And I feel like they had to slowly get back into the groove of it. Maybe they're just really bad at writing introductions to stories. Which is understandable. I think the introduction is one of the most difficult things to write in the story. Because, like, when you create a story, when you start storytelling, when you create a narrative, you're always going to be thinking about the climax, the spots, the big events that happen in the story, the ones that you want people to remember. You always envision those first. You're just like, that's why I'm writing this story. I want it to lead up to this, and that's the big payoff, right? Whether that's like a single arc in your story, or whether it's like the big overall climax, that's what you want to work towards. And then naturally after that, maybe you consider how it may end. If you don't, then I recommend you do, because I think most storytellers should always consider how they end something before how they start something. Because you need to have something to work towards. You don't just want to be, like, working towards a great unknown. You want to be, like, working towards, like, a tangible goal. Like, this is where the story's going to end, so I'll write towards that. And that's why I say the start is, like, the most difficult thing to write. Because you need to hook people, but you also need to, like, set everything in motion for you to get on the road to that ending. There's a lot of things to consider for the start. But that's a tangent. I think that once GFL 2, like, breaks out of this, like, narratively speaking, I'm not gonna speak about the economical things going on, because that's quite controversial, and I do have opinions on it, but I will reserve those for now, because I just want to enjoy the game right now. But let's just say they haven't really developed a good sense of faith in their player base. But naturally, I hope that shifts at some point, because there is clearly, like, passion put into this game, and I don't want it to be betrayed by the corporate machinations going on, which is, you know, starting to become a reality, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Especially with gacha games, which have such a high maintenance cost. Depending. Well, that was obvious. Like, of course she joined 404 because of Klukai. Like, I don't remember if they had many interactions in GFL 1, Belka and Fawn and Klukai. I will say, coming into GFL 2, I had no idea that they were sisters. Even though when I look back, it should have been more obvious. Unless I, like, missed something in GFL 1, or just don't remember. That's also a possibility. I do want to replay through GFL 1 at some point. I heard Global is coming to Steam sometime in the future. Probably when it reaches the Battle of Frankfurt, maybe. So I'll be looking forward to maybe... I don't know if I'll stream it. I don't know if it's really stream-worthy. Maybe. Maybe I'll make videos of it. Maybe that'd be better. I don't know. I don't really make videos, so... Klukai observation report. Yeah, I don't fault you for that. That's, make an addendum on the footnote. She's incredibly clingy. She's kind of like a duckling, isn't she? Did your relationship ever improve beyond a stalker and the target? Well, let's see. Okay. It's... Yeah, the story so far has been a little bit lackluster. I don't think it's not just the neural log stuff. There's a possibility that this is the first two parts of the event to flesh out these characters, and then maybe the third part is something more substantial. Because the third part will come with Zhang Yu, and that feels like a completely separate, well, not a completely separate thing, but like, it's the definitive, like, second part of the event. Because that's when all the other stuff unlocks. It's really weird how they've done this event. Because they released Belka and Andrus at the same time, and then they released Zhang Yu by herself. So if it's another neural log like review with Zhang Yu, I think I'd be a bit upset about that. Unless there's some like really good story content in those like neural logs. Because it's like I said, the major complaint about GFL's story right now on Global is that we're meandering. Like, we have been... The last drastic thing to happen was in Aphelion. Ever since, we have just been kind of floating on, like... It's plateaued. Like, the story has completely plateaued. We're doing all this, like, side stuff. We're reuniting with a bunch of, like, dolls from the past and exploring their stories, which is great, but it's better in moderation, you know? Like, and we haven't gone, like, any GFL 2 original dolls in quite a while. It's always been, like, returners and stuff. So... I'm not trying to go into this with complete negativity. I want to extract what goodness out of this I can. But the outlook doesn't look too bright right now. You know, if it is like that, then well, it'll be a relatively short stream for me, won't it? She gets the special attention because she needs it. If you take her eye... Mishti's one of those weird, like, G11 aka Mishti is one of those weird cases where if you take your eyes off of her, she might just vanish. Not because, like, she's crafty and mischievous like that, because she's gonna go find the optimal napping position. And that is knowledge that is alien to a lot of people, so you're gonna have a lot of trouble finding her. She goes out of her way to become undetectable so that no one disturbs her sleep. And that's why you gotta keep an eye on her. Yeah, like, she's just like that. It's fucking... What's his name? It's fucking Dia's fault. For, like... I think it's his fault. I just know that she has a firing core that's way too powerful for, like, her civilian model. So, like, she's tired all the time because she doesn't have the energy to, like, run that complex, like, firing sequence algorithm thing. So she's really good in bursts, but then, like, you know, she's lethargic all the rest of the time. That's why her, like, ultimate and stuff has her, like, stimming up. Because, you know, when she gets going, that's probably why Klukai keeps her around, because, well, one of the big reasons is that she's a formidable fighter. She's really good. But it's like, that's like the 20%, that's the 20% of the time, that's the 20% efficiency that you maximize using to make up for the rest of the time where she's just kind of a letdown. Belka in some ways does feel like somebody just got like... Somebody got the TV tropes page for like the Little Sister anime archetype and like downloaded it into her like neural cloud and was basically just like, this is your personality now. Like, you run off of this. So she has this like preconception of what her purpose is and how her relationship with Klukai should be, but it's not quite like that. I mean that in a satirical way, obviously, but... Yeah, like... It's fine to admire something, but not to the point of an obsession. Yeah, I think part of it is that, yeah, like I said, Mishti is high maintenance, that's why. You don't want to be, like... Belka, the reason that you can't do that is because, like, you feel bad by dragging Klukai down. Like, you're self-conscious of that. Mishti isn't. She just does it. Because that's how she is, and Klukai has to, like, pick up the scraps after her. Please no. I don't need another stalker. Wow, shut down. Nah, it's just banter. They weren't serious. There's no hard feelings there. If you're wondering about this team setup, it's just AoE. I put everyone with as much AoE as I could physically conceive into this thing, so I can clear these missions quicker. Of course, Klukai is usually all you need, though. I mean, eventually, that role will be that role will be passed on to Voimastina when she comes out, aka AK-15, since she is a monster that destroys everything just by spawning into the battle. Which I don't really agree with on a game design point of view, but like, it's also just kind of really funny. It'll definitely be an interesting time once she hits global blue. All I can do is... excuse me. All I can do is look at that and hope that Micah team look at the case of Voimastina and they consider this is probably a really bad idea. And they take that forward and like incorporate that caution into their future designs, because like the power creep in this game is tangible. I'm not gonna say it's completely like over-encompassing on everything, because yes, while Voimastina invalidates basically the thing that Klukai has been good at the whole time in terms of like clearing enemies, it is fundamentally for like a different team lineup. Like, for instance, I believe Voimastina is a physical attacker, which means she, you know, she goes in physical teams. Klukai is corrosion, so she's for the corrosion team. It's just another weapon in your arsenal for like doing content. But I mean, Gunsmoke has been like it's been the staple for like quote-unquote competitive content in GFL too. Because PvP just isn't... I mean, I'm pretty sure the devs on the Chinese streams at one point said they've pretty much abandoned PvP and it's just there for additional rewards if people so will it. And now with Bully Mestina and the Chinese scene, like, you just kill other players' teams upon entering the battle. Like, there's no sense of, like, strategy or tactic to it at all now. Whether or not they'll revisit that in the future, I don't know, but I mean, I've always thought PvP modes in gacha games were always bullshit. Well, I say bullshit, I play Uma Musume, and the big thing in that is PvP modes. But that's different, because Uma Musume has so much RNG in it that, yes, whaling is going to give you, like, a massive advantage, but there is a way for the free-to-plays to fight back in that respect, because a lot of it has to do with number crunching and a lot of luck. Games like this, where it's a tactical layer and you're like actually like combating against each other, no shot. Whales usually dominate the landscape, and that's just how it always is in these gacha games. So that's why I've always thought that PvP is just stupid. Like, it's just a battleground for the most high-paying players, characters, whatever. And it's dumb. Like, and I think my team has realized that, hence why they're not really supporting the mode anymore. I think it's unfortunate, but like, I think it existing there as kind of like a little benign tumor is fine. Because it's an extra avenue for rewards that's relatively simple to get. Like, you just have to participate to get rewards. And, you know, every season the additional reward is, like, a cute banner. Like, no, it's cute border for your avatar and a medal. That's it. Obviously, if you're a collector, you want to keep on top of those things. But, like, aside from that, like, it doesn't really matter. The participation is the most important thing for most players, so just taking part in it, getting the rewards, and just beelining out, that's fine. I do wish, well, I say I wish they had more, like, intricate challenge modes and stuff. But every time they put something like that in, it just annoys people. For instance, Inverse Cipher is a daily challenge thing that comes around every now and again, where Inverse Cipher is basically you take control of certain like enemy units, and you have to use their unique mechanics to like try and figure out basically a puzzle. So it's like take out all enemies in like 2 or 3 turns, and you have to like use their mechanics. You have to use the unique mechanics of these units to the fullest to like achieve that, because they're not your like overpowered units. I like doing the inverse ciphers because like they're actual puzzles, they're engaging. But a lot of people hate them because they're only looking at the rewards. They just want to get the rewards, they don't want to put the brain power in for these puzzles. So it's kind of just like, okay, what do people actually want in this game, you know? Like, I see people saying that the gameplay is kind of brain dead now, and that there's no nuance to it, but the moment that they actually try to introduce some nuance, then people say it's annoying. And that that's not what they want. So I think this is a case of, like, the developers don't really know what they're doing in their gameplay, but the players also don't know what they're doing in their gameplay either. Obviously, there's a lot of callback to, like, XCOM and stuff, but XCOM is a very different game to this. Like, incredibly different. Like, yes, they have similar, like, layouts in terms of, like, oh, you have a grid-based, like, isometric battlefield, and you, like, control your units, and they get, like, a certain amount of actions each turn and stuff like that. But, the metagame around them is so different that they're almost uncomparable. Well, she got her puppy dog eyes. The expressiveness of her facial expression module. I wonder if she's had, like, a specialized facial expression module that just allows her to basically get wherever she wants. because she can do the puppy dog eyes, and people are just like, oh, I pity this creature. A well-behaved girl should be... That's a dangerous words, Commander. I think Commander knows best about Klukai being prickly on the outside, but with a soft, chewy inside. You know? Are we actually gonna get to, like, anything substantial here? Nah, you'll be fine. Klukai told me you can do this. She's like, of course I can. I recognize the arena. This is the arena you fight the creepy doll on. I remember that. We got water. Some games have like a story mode where it can actually be quite difficult. Limbus Company, for instance, has a story mode that is, you know, a scaling difficulty. That the difficulty scales with your relative power, like. But the story in Limbus is the main content of the game, you know. Like, that should be, like... Well, it's not the most difficult content, but it isn't easy by any stretch. Like, it is, like, a difficult game. But that's always been in, like, Project Moon's DNA. GFL right now is in a strange position. In that the story combat mode is, most of the time, it seems like an afterthought. Oh, we just need to get to the exit. Okay. Yeah, most of the time, like, the combat in GFL feels like an afterthought for the story. Because, like, you can literally just blitz through it with, like, your favorite characters. We're not using Belko, I'm sorry. Because she's all we need. And, I mean, I get a certain part of it because they want the story to be accessible to everyone. And, you know, not everyone has a V6 Klukai. So obviously, like, I have an inherent advantage here, where I can just clear the mission just like that. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone has Klukai or a V6 Klukai. So it's just like, what do you do in that case? Like, is it really like a matter of like making the story content more challenging, where it would be cut off to a lot of players? Or maybe it's something as simple as like introduce a hard mode, which is for like people who are level 60. But then you get the argument of just like, well, if you put it in a hard mode with more rewards, then you're just gating it off to new players. So it's kind of a weird thing, because the whale to free-to-play power creep in GFL 2 is so severe. Like, someone who free-to-plays compared to someone who whales in this game, the power difference is, like, substantial. Whereas in something like Limbus Company, you can whale on Limbus Company all you want, but generally speaking, like, the power in Limbus Company comes from having a versatile repertoire of identities, rather than having, like, multiple dupes of the strongest ones, because dupes aren't really a thing in Limbus. Like, you get the identity and that's it, you got it. The most powerful people are the ones that can collect everything. That's the name of the game in Limbus, and collecting everything is so easy in that game. Same with Zerlane, really. Like, that's just how it is. But yeah, I think because the power gap is so severe, they can't really put much challenge into the story content. You know what's happening? I just realized what's happening. Okay. After we do this... Oh, hello, Belka. She hug. Why is the air humid? Has she been crying that much? Okay, I know what's happening. I've done this in a really... So, okay. I'll explain it once we're out of here. I went into this and I've done it in an improper way. You know what? We're just going to... We're going to skip this. And then we'll get back to that. That was a avatar icon. Okay, so... yeah, this was like the Yuhi event. So, basically, we should have been going through this. Crap, okay. I really don't like this event layout. Because you can kind of just blitz through all of these. Like, I've already done it, so I can just claim all this. You kind of just blitz through them, but then you don't get context because you have to back out, you have to go into this, and you have to play the stories from here. So let's play the stories from here. These are the actual flashbacks. I wish they would, like... I hope... I'm gonna put this in my feedback. I don't really know if they'll ever do it, but if they do future events like this, I discourage them from doing it a lot more events like this. But if they absolutely have to do them like this, please make it so that, like, please make it like a more, like, indicative method that to experience the story and how it should be happening. You, I don't know, put a prompt or something when you finish a mission, being like, oh, time to read the neural log or something, you know? There she goes. Darn. Cocked by Vector. 404 second squad. Of course. Klukai just wants to impress 45. That makes sense. It's like, look, I can command 2 teams. Belka, you can't be Team B's leader because then you'll spend even less time with Klukai. I know I was saying that Belka is kind of like the substitution for Lena's energy in the team, which she is. Which is to imply that Andorus kind of fulfills 45's role. I think they're two very different energies, though. Like, Andorus brings something to forward they haven't really had before, and she's like the team mother. She feels like the mom. She's there to, like, she kind of babies everyone a little bit, and she kind of makes sure that everyone's taken care of. But at the same time, she needs taken care of as well because she blue screens all the time. Poor thing. I do like Andorus, though. I was saying about GFL... I was saying about GFL2 original characters before, and how we have a lack of them. Andorus is a GFL2 original character. I appreciate her. She's a very nice addition. For specific reasons. And I'm not just talking about aesthetic reasons, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to hone in on that. She's a very welcome narrative addition as well. Obviously, like, you know... A lot of people would be like, you know, it's fake 404. They're not 45 and they're not 9, but, you know, times have changed. And we still have 44 and 9 anyway. Like, they're still here, we're still gonna get them. It's nice to have more people. More family. Torrents of data gush into Belka's neural cloud. Clog up a processing thread. Andorus, you can't just gush into Belka like that. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna screenshot this for posterity later because this is really funny out of context. She was like, infamy. I bet Belka felt like what, this is gonna be a very specific reference, but Belka just now probably felt like a mastermind tank unit from Red Alert 2 when they wander into a crowd of civilians. If you know how that reference checks out, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a very obscure reference, though. Ruche. I remember people asking about characters that we've seen in a game and then becoming like rollable characters in the future. And I think Micah Team actually said at one point that not every character is gonna make the cut. And I remember everyone saying, Ruche, no! We might not get PP19. Sneaky. Ruche. I do hope Ruche becomes a rollable character. Like, the thing about Ruche is that she appears in, like, some of the earliest promotional material for GFL2. Like, she's just one of the dolls that appears in, like, the sequences. Like, if you've ever played this game, you'll know that on, like, the startup screen, we get, like, we get the promotional, like, CG footage from, like, that they had, like, ages ago, even though it doesn't really correspond to the current story. We just get that, like, a little, like, reel of that in the background of the start menu. And she's in that. Like, Ruche is just in that. She's in a different outfit, obviously. She's in, like, full tactical gear, because that's just how... That was how the perspective of the game was back in development. Like, back in the beta. So it'd be, like, the fact that she appears in that material, and then if she doesn't actually become, like, a rollable character at some point, that would be quite disappointing. Like, of course, featuring in that content doesn't mean that they always had some type of plan for her in this game. Maybe she was just a prominent side character, because, you know, we get side characters. But I think it's definitely punctuated by the fact that she was one in GFL 1. Lots of characters, lots of dolls were in GFL 1. But it is also good to be realistic. Like, if you are being completely realistic right now, how on earth are they going to get, like, they got like 400 plus dolls in the first game. And our roster in this game, I don't even think it's gone over 100. If even that. I don't know. Is it even 50 in this game? I don't actually know. I don't know how many dolls are in this game, but it's not a substantial number. And it won't be a substantial number because a lot of effort goes into creating each doll that they release. So it's unrealistic to think that everyone's gonna come back. And it's also balancing out with the fact that, yes, like, some of us want more GFL2 original characters. You have to reserve a portion of the cast for, like, newcomers. So you kind of have to balance obviously, it's going to be more skewed in terms of, like, returning characters because that's fan service content. But you still need to reserve a fraction of it for newcomers. So it's probably incredibly competitive for them behind the scenes. So Ruche obviously has a foot in the door because of, like, you know, her prominence. But it doesn't mean that she's going to be guaranteed to be a rollable character. You can't say the same either for, like, who was it? Who else was in the squad? Wellrod and TMP, I think. Or what was her name? I think Wellrod is still Wellrod, but I forgot TMP's name. She had her own name though. I've just forgotten what it is. But yeah, we're not guaranteed to get any of, like, we're not guaranteed to get the rest of 404B squad, should I say? There are a few characters that we have been confirmed on, that are coming soon. Well, I say. One of the big ones is M200, which they teased at one point. She's still not appeared at all, except for, like, a side story, which, you know, is promising. M200 obviously is one of my favorite characters from GFL1, next to K11 and CZ75. So, you know, that'd be 2 out of 3 of them when M200 comes, because we have CZ75, aka Faye, in the game right now. I have her, like, right now. Which I was very happy about. I was very happy that they gave her out for free. And, you know, we'll eventually get an M200 as well. Maybe for free, I don't know. That might be wishful thinking, but... Originally, M200 was a America exclusive doll in GFL1. Like, when they released the global server, M200 came out on that first. And then she came out on, you know, all the other servers, I think. But then, maybe they'll do the same here. Maybe they're saving M200 for when global, like, catches up. They'll be like, to commemorate this event, we're giving the global server M200. Wow. So cool. I hope not, because that seems like it's going to be quite far in the future. Oh, she's jelly. She's jealous. I think it's because the one you're chasing after, Belka, is kind of like... Ruche chose to scale a hill in the form of Vector. You're choosing to try and scale a mountain in Klukai. I can hear the Ada Ada. She took that literally. Say, Andrus, you might know how I would do this, right? She's like, Google search. She's acting like ChatGPT right now. Oh god, she's... Andrus? Excuse me. She's really digging deep, huh? It's when you ask ChatGPT for an answer and it just has the buffering icon. It's just like, oh my god, is it really that much of a difficult thing to answer? That's a lot of data. Oh, I love Andrus. She's great. She literally just like looked up ways to strengthen bond. She was just like, how to strengthen relationship between sisters. General. No. Oh, okay. That's what she was saying. Okay. Okay, so that gives context for that. So that leads into how they met each other. I like how Belka's like default. I like how Belka's pose actually creates that like. It actually looks like she's dragging Andrus in, but that's just how she's drawn. I doubt they drew her with that specific purpose, but you know, that's dear. She is startled by people in the maintenance bay. That's a landfill you're walking into, Mishti. Anime figures he smuggled in. Where do you get anime figures in the yellow zones? They must have something going on, right? That's not the takeaway from that. Mishti's just looking at Belka like, wow. This girl's an idiot. It's your funeral. You little... Oh, she's got a keen eye. can't just blackmail the weebs. Come on. As long as Clue Guy doesn't string me upside down and puts 9 magazines into me. I feel like this has happened before. This is very specific. Alright. Oh. Uh-oh. I just realised she's got her little, tags. Is this a different art? No, this is the same artist as usual. Because of the bright contrast. I was wondering if it was a different CG artist for a second. I don't think it is. Uh-oh. Ooh, she knows. Jesus. Man, she rejected me. That was so cool. Didn't she do this before? Where did you... How'd you get in my room? The vent? Anyway. No, actually, probably the more appropriate answer for Belka is, well, I was here first. Anyway. I actually thought she was just gonna shoot her for a second. Knock her out. Then I remember this isn't Blue Archive, that doesn't work. That would just kill her. Clue Kai wouldn't do that. She completely glossed over the rest, I guarantee you. Wait, what did she say? She was right. Oh no. You might have just put Bishti in the crosshair. You're just like a squirrel. She's a very squirrely doll, isn't she? Instead of hoarding nuts, she hoards, like, Klukai memorabilia. You should, like, check under her bed, it's just a pile of, like, Klukai stuff. A gift from the squirrel. I like how she's not even sister, she's just squirrel. The squirrel has a gift for me. Interesting. I bet Kuligo's gonna be like, no, I accepted the mission. At least Klukai is like, you know, giving her the benefit of the doubt. It's weird that I kind of relate to this. I've very much been like a person that puts a lot of value in appointments. So when something is like organized, like for instance, maybe like I start planning like a big event or something for like my friends, like with my friends, should I say. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm anticipating it. I'm like mentally preparing for it and stuff because that's just what I do. Like, even if it's with friends, if it's like a social gathering, like I have to mentally prepare for it because I'm an introvert. And you know, all that happens. Actually, probably a really good example of this is like I once had like I once had a gathering that was gonna last, like, you know, a few days. Over the holidays. With some friends. And, one of the people that was coming down was, like, one of the people that came down was the method of transport for a bunch of my other friends. That's important. So, yeah, they all came down. We all, like, hung out. It was gonna be, like, a nice, like, few days of just relaxing and, like, you know, being with each other and just having fun. I won't go into details, but there was, like, a family emergency for my one friend who was transporting everyone. So, like, very prematurely into the gathering, we basically had to split up. He had to take everyone back home, and he had to go back because of the emergency. And, you know, in that case, you know, there's nothing you can really do about that. Like, that shit just happens. It sucks, but that just happens. But I remember at the time, I was absolutely, like, I was dejected. Like, I was so, like, broken by that. Because it was the holidays, I was all alone here, like, the rest of my family were gone for the holidays, enjoying themselves, and I was going to enjoy myself here with my friends, and that just kind of went up in smoke before my very eyes, and I remember... That's what I'm relating to here, with how Belka feels. When stuff just doesn't go according to plan, when shit just happens, and that thing that you were looking forward to so much, the thing you anticipated and planned for so much, just dissolves before your eyes. It fucking sucks. You know? But, you know, I think it's okay to, like, linger in that anguish for a bit, you know? Like, I think it'd be completely unnatural. Well, for me personally, I think it would have been completely unnatural for me to just be like, oh, well, it is what it is. I'll just, like, have fun by myself, you know? Like, for a couple of days, I was really out of it. I was just like, bleh. Everything fucking sucks. Why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to us? Like, why can't we have nice things, etc.? You know, lots of really negative things. And I think it's fine that I went through that, because, you know, that kind of demonstrates to myself that I still feel things, you know? I was so upset by it, and I think it's fine that I was upset by it. Because, you know, I bounce back and we just do other things after that, you know? We make up for it. As long as I just don't let it, like, drag down on me for too long. As long as I am able to move on and, like, look forward to the next thing. But, yeah, like I'm saying, it's fine to, like, dwell on it a little bit. Just a little bit. Dummkopf? Okay, now I'm imagining Belka speaking with, like, a German accent. Why would she just weave a random German phrase into a speech? Squeaky German lady. Well, don't physically abuse the Mishti. Only Klukai can do that. Where's the sound effect? This doesn't sound like light. It sounds like distant metal scraps or something. I guess I didn't have anything better on hand. She ran out of power. Dummkopf. I guess they're both based on German guns, so... It's even weirder because Klukai's name is... Klukai apparently is derived from the Russian phrase for crocodile, so she has a Russian derivative name. But she's she's meant to be like... She's imprinted off a German gun, so she speaks with a German lingo? I don't know. I think Klukai is just very culturally confused. She has bike, she go Noom. You can't just say that about your sister. Melka, you need to realize Klukai doesn't really understand this kind of stuff. Exactly, see, she doesn't know any better. This is something I also came to realize with, like, other people. I used to have a lot of value in ceremony. So, to put that into perspective, basically in the I guess there's kind of hints of it in the story I just said about the holiday gathering, because, you know, the fact that it was during the holidays really hit me harder because of my sense of ceremony. So what I mean by that is, let's say I wanted to celebrate my birthday, which is on the 27th of April, so I want to specifically, like, celebrate on the 27th of April. But then shit happens and I can't actually do that. I used to get super bummed out because I'll be like, well, there's no point because it's not actually my birthday. You know? Like, yes, we could celebrate on the Saturday of that week if my birthday happens to be on, like, a Tuesday or something because people are working on a Tuesday. But then I'm just like, well, what's the point? It's not the actual day. I've grown to not really care about that in recent years, but that's like a very... That's an example of the type of logic I used to run through. Another thing is, like, what Belka's on about here, anniversaries. Like, I used to keep tabs on, like, anniversaries for certain events that happened in my life, and when I couldn't really do anything to celebrate the days that they happened, then I'd get kind of antsy about it. So I definitely understand where she's just like, oh, but it's not the anniversary anymore. What's the point of celebrating? Or like, but I mean, the most of the point at the end there was that Klukai didn't care, and that's it's when you start doing things with other people that you realize that people don't have that sense of ceremony, which is fine. It's like, I've learned through a lot of interactions where something as simple as saying to a friend, hey, tomorrow night, do you want to try that new game together? And they'll be like, hell yeah. And, you know, that's your plan for tomorrow night. You're going to play the game with your friend. And then that day comes, and you're kind of just sitting there waiting for your friend to, like, show up. And then they're just like, oh, something came up. Sorry, dude. Or, like, you know, they just don't communicate that and they like show up like later and be like, oh sorry, I like stuff happened, we couldn't make it. But we can just do it like tomorrow night instead, or we can just do it like the day after. No, this is falling apart. This analogy's falling apart. Something better for it is like, let's do. What I'm saying is, I felt this before, like where I've arranged for something to be at a specific time, and then when somebody doesn't meet that expectation, and they're just like, oh, we can just do it another time, and I'll be like, it doesn't matter, we tried to do it another time, we couldn't do it this time, that's why I'm pissed off. I get that. I can't really think of the specific example where it happened to me, but I felt that before. I felt that frustration. Maybe it was still the holidays one, because that was a special holiday celebration. And it's like, oh, we can always just do that again in the future. We can always just hang out because we're friends and be like, but we can't just always hang out as friends during the holidays, can we? That was special. But, you know, like, I've kind of grown out of, like, feeling that way about those types of things. The ensconcement of a squirrel-shaped... She even has a squirrel-shaped pillow. You really are just squirrely, aren't you? No! Don't screw the squirrel! Squirrel did nothing! Oh, she's running away. I really thought this was about to be like a cyberpunk moment. It's the bullet casing of the shot Big Sis put into me when I intruded on the 404 base. Like she just started treasuring that. Belko, are you in there? No, I'm not. The fuck are you talking about? You're not. I can't take it seriously if she goes boo-hoo. You write boo-hoo if it's like a mocking thing, not a joking thing. You don't write that seriously. Like, come on. Ah! Fucking Christ, what the fuck was that? Hold on. There was something crawling up my leg. Belka, is that you? Hold on. was just a spider. Kinda wish it was Belka now, but you know. Spiders really do just have a habit of falling on me. Sure, that's someone's nightmare. I'm less freaked out about the spider, it's more freaking out because I feel something crawling on my leg. I just don't like that feeling. She's Sundere. Did she carve that herself? Oh, hell yeah! As a present for the squirrel. I had no idea you collected mallards. Wait, you like ducks too? Nice. I think that was fun. It was pretty fun. I will do the rest of these at some point, but now I'm just gonna do this. Get some more resources. Because we have a second part to the event to get through. That was a relatively, like, short part. So, yeah. 404 found, that's Belka's story. This is probably going to be Anders' story. Yeah, a neural recollection. Okay. This one has more parts, I think? No, it's got the same. It's the same amount. It's the same. Don't even kid yourself. Alright. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to do this properly. Oh, she does have more parts though. Okay. There you go. I guess it's kind of in the title of the event, Interstice of Reminiscence. We're reminiscing over all this stuff. It's fine. I know I said there's grievances with the story and stuff, but whatever. All I know is that we are running out of, like, filler events to tide us over, so a big event will be coming soon. I wouldn't be surprised if Deep Oblivion came right after this. This is going to be interesting for Anders, because, one, she's a new character, so we don't know much about her background before GFL 2. Two, she was a civilian doll. Like, obviously a lot of GFL, a lot of G&K dolls from GFL 1 were civilian dolls before they got outfitted for paramilitary use. But Anders, you know, she's like a current gen, civilian doll that got very recently retrofitted for, what's it called? Combat. So this is the first neural log. Let's have a look. Oh, they have their original names. Okay. 416 and G11. Wait. Yeah, oh right. Okay, I remember now. Anders used to work at the Zucchero Cafe. She never will. Ooh. Oof. Klukai being 416 being as critical as usual. I guess they're strangers at that point, so it doesn't really perturb her. Is this before G36 joined the cafe? Because I don't see her. Hey? Oh, it's Andorus in there, okay. Damn it, 45! G11, pick it up. I just imagine she's carrying her back like Sam Bridges from Death Stranding. Transport that doll. Okay. We'll just check back after each stage. Though if Andorus was performing poorly as like a service doll, I'm genuinely wondering what convinced people that she was going to be viable as a combat doll, you know? You would think that maybe one leads into the other. Just for that then. She's all you need.
너희들의 실수는 사공사를 적으로 돌렸답니다.
We got a part 2 yet? Yeah, we did. Okay. Ah, the classic doll racists. Oh, she's just out and about. Flopping like a fish. She's meant to be offline. How is she online and serving the bloody maintenance crew? Oh dear, it's always dear. Okay. Equipment calibration has never sounded so threatening. Oh, it was Lever pulling the strings all along, as per usual. Yeah, I guess that's how it turned out, isn't it? She didn't want to interview any new dolls, so what ended up happening was... Leather has forced a doll into their ranks, and Belka just kind of showed up. I wouldn't be surprised if Leather fed Belka information about where 404 was located through hidden channels, though, and she, like, coordinated that. Yeah, so... Andrus's whole deal about us being a civilian doll was that she was a data processing unit, from what I remember. So she has a large storage capacity because she's meant to be processing large volumes of data. But I presume because she has a large data storage capacity, because she has to go through so much data a lot, she often overworks her neural cloud and blue screens. She's kind of like a hard drive. Like she's kind of like a large hard drive. Like she can store lots of data, but it's gonna take her a bit to actually sort through it all. She's a good face as well, that is true. Yes, actually. It's funny how... It is funny how I made the hard drive analogy right before that. I'm sorry, Andrus. It is a comparable example. Oh. She's got a load time, don't worry. It'd be so... I know, that just happens to dolls sometimes, but... I think of that where, if I was interacting with her, that would freak me out. She just pauses. She pauses and the eyes go empty for a moment, and then she just continues like nothing happened. I know she's just buffering, but... It's quite funny in a way, though. Buffering onto it. Andrus is definitely a doll you don't want to ask paradoxical questions to. But if you say this statement is false to her, she is actually going to
너희들의
explode.
실수는 사공사를 적으로 돌렸다는 것.
Poor thing. Okay, next one. That's what the commander always does. I think in the commander's books, as long as you're not Paradeus, you deserve respect. It may be in Andorus's perspective that she feels like that she didn't really do much in terms of like she just did as she was told, like she basically does what she would usually do. Is I think what the perspective from Andorus is going to be like. Like, she was just like, I just carried on like I always have, and eventually she accepted me. I don't know why, but it doesn't feel like I did much. Whereas, in the eyes of others, she probably has done a lot. I feel like that might be a case of what's happening.
승리 축하 파티제! 오늘 무엇을 만들어 볼까나?
Thank you, Kuihua. Suiha. I can't pronounce that name for the life of me. I could just call her Super 90, not Super 90, the other one. What is she based on again? Type 90, that's it. Type 90 shotgun. Oh, is this is going to be Andorus's logs, isn't it? Learning ambush and CQC techniques through online video tutorials. She thinks she has all the power after watching online video tutorials. She's a millennial. Oh, she's typing out on a terminal, okay. She really is just using Google search, just like... Excuse me. Oh, my throat is all kinds of messed up. Oh no, she's trying to process too much information again. She punched herself? I think it's kind of adorable, the naivety of Andorus. Just like, utilizing flashbang seems like an effective technique. Puts lights around the room. This doesn't seem to be equivalent of an actual flashbang. Oh, man. Andorus is confused about Krukai's tsundere ways. She took the dog out for a walk! I find it really funny. She just like puts Mishti on the bike every now and again, just rides around with her. Like, I took you for a walk, alright? Ooh. A thing? Oh. She got the drop on her. Okay, maybe that's why she got accepted. I doubt it's that alone, though. Of course, Klukai gonna be like, alright, 1v1 me then. I think she's just feeling a teensy weensy bit petty after being duped. Just a little bit. Didn't they equip... They haven't equipped her with a firing core yet, have they? How's she gonna use the gun? I thought dolls had to have like a firing module to actually like use a gun. Or maybe that's like so to use a gun like expertly. Maybe they can just like use guns like any other person would, like untrained.
목표 침묵. 임무 완료. 그럼 돌아가자.
It would be funny if one of these was just a 1v1 against Klukai. Obviously, that wouldn't make for a very engaging stage, because I think most people would be able to do that in one turn. Just like... It'll either be like too easy or too difficult, because the moment you give Klukai a turn to do something, she's gonna pop off and probably kill everything. It probably wouldn't make for very interesting content. Which, you know, probably puts into perspective your character design. Like... maybe it's not very good if that's the case. You can't really design a good fight around it. But then it puts into question, like, should you be, like, fighting your player characters in the first place? It's so, like, wild to... Like, there's gotta be something in this world where... There's, like... I mean, obviously, it's a post-apocalyptic world, so everyone's probably got their own kind of, like, ideas about what dolls are meant to serve as, and what they are, like, what they stand for and stuff. The fact that so few people are kind to dolls in this world, maybe it's a matter of perspective. Maybe there's a lot of people that really enjoy, like, the company of dolls and treat them with respect. Oh, but it is clear that the commander is an outlier in this respect. That might just be in, like, military-like setting. Maybe in a civilian setting there's more doll sympathizers. But in a military setting it probably is more of a rarity that, someone like the commander shows up and gives dolls their dues, so to speak. But I'd find it surprising in, like, the greater world itself that there'd be that kind of issue, like, throughout general society, unless it's, like, just a completely different worldview on the fact that they are synthetics, you know? Because, like, sometimes you can't, like, it is based in the same world as ours in a way, because it's Earth, right? But fundamentally, the GFL setting is a lot different than ours. It took on a completely different trajectory in terms of technology. Because, like, they had stuff like dolls. They had, like, automated machinery and stuff back in like the early 2000s or something, thanks to collapse technology. The fact that they had the collapse tech, well, not collapse technology, but they had the relics. They had the relics for like technological reference ever since like the early 1900s or something, or late 1800s, something like that. And that basically like skyrocketed the technological development of mankind. So they're on like a much further technology timeline than we are. Which is why the year is like, what is it in this? Like, the year in this is like 2070 or something. Which, you know, is only like 50 years after our current time. Though, maybe the world could be like this in 50 years, but the fact of the matter is that even in our time, 2025, they had a lot of shit that we do not have because of that technological boost that they got. So there's probably a lot of factors in play that could play into the whole dull racism thing. Yeah, so it is like, Andrus is a very interesting case, because, like, it's kind of like working with a disability. I don't want to undermine people with disabilities with this, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be ableist. But she's basically a doll with, it's not really a disability, it's more like, it's a special type of condition. I don't want to say autism, because it's not really a form of that, but, like, she has a certain, like, way of thinking and living, where it's just, like, she's very good at a certain set of tasks, but she's not good at, like, other things. Which I guess is kind of like what autism is, in a way. But, you know, the fact that, like, she crashes a lot because she's always processing lots of data too quickly. The fact that she needs a lot of time to process all that data, but when she does eventually get through it, she produces results that no one else can. You know? It is a valuable, like, talent to have, and, like, while she could fix it, she won't, because, like, she acknowledges that's what she's good at. Alright, well, before we get into a compliment feedback loop, let's continue working. Hello, Sabrina. Oh, God. Ugh. Yawn. We're not going to be too much longer here. There's only a bit of story left. Well, but we're about halfway through the neurologs, so... Oh, G36 is there. Okay. I guess she was just out during that day. Or she was just working in the background. Oh. Lever and Kalina. Yeah, so she's good at knowing things. Like, she can know basically everything about the operation, and, like, she can know things by the, like, data. But yeah, like, unexpected requests from customers, like, say, like, a customer's just like, oh, you know, I feel a little bit adventurous today, add a little drizzle of vanilla in there, and she'll be like, buffering. It's like, what does that mean? Thanks, Lever. So it sounds like you must be a good fit. Oh, so you're not a good fit. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but, like, they changed Kalina's, like, artwork, from what it used to be. I forgot. I don't really know how to describe it before, but before she looked way more like her old part, like, the old version. I don't know why they changed it, so she looks a little less Kalina-like now. My only thinking is that they wanted to make it look like she's actually grown up a bit over the time, rather than she just looks like Kalina from before, because, you know, it's been 10 years. Like, it'd be I think it would be a bit weird if Kalina didn't actually change appearance that much over 10 years since GFL 1. I did like her older look better though, but, you know, it's not bad. Missing punctuation there. Oh, so is that how that led into this? Oh, you gave her the G11? Oh, you... oh, you missed that detail. You gave her the G11! I just realized, my avatar's... oh, whatever. My avatar's covering a bit of the writing. Whatever. That's unfair. The G11 is such a fucking esoteric gun. Ooh. What's she gonna do? Maybe because, ooh, remodel civilian dolls. I know they wouldn't do artwork for them, but I would be genuinely interested to see artwork of these, like, malformed dolls, you know? The ones that people have just kind of like illegally retrofitted with and haphazardly. What, like an anglerfish? That do be what it means. Yeah, you gotta give her a fire control core before you take her on in combat. Like, come on. It's kind of an unfair advantage. .404 has always been under the radar, dealing in black markets and stuff, so it is a bit weird that she's trying to do stuff by the book. G11 is 100% right here. It's like, yes, we should illegally modify her. That's the whole point. I just imagine Clue Guy just looking at Mishti, just like, after she said something actually sensible, she's like, what the fuck did you learn that? Of course it's fucking anime. Word for word. Not even Varjägers, they're just bounty hunters. Little shitlords. What are they doing? There she is being Sundere again. Hey. Maybe they're gonna learn how terrifying Andorus can really be. Because from what I recall, Andorus in the story so far has had surprising moments of craftiness. So I'd like to see how she actually proves that she's, how she proves to become part of 404. Ah, simulation. Don't threaten me, I'll blue screen. I was just thinking Andorus would be so fun to play in like a D&D campaign. just having to roll a wisdom save as somebody uses intimidate on you. If you fail, you blue screen. Only about the result, huh? Oh, okay, she must have the firing control module then if she's got an imprint. That makes sense why she's also a G36. Okay. That's pretty cool. Oh, low compatibility. I mean, she got a really good shot off. Maybe she's just good at killing other dolls. There she goes again. There you go. Maybe Cloak ID down's like, man, that was a mistake. Making G11 helper. G11's just happy because there's someone that's gonna let her nap whenever she wants. When Mother Klukai is out, Auntie Andorus lets me do what I want. Yeah, that's what it's all about. She takes a little longer to do things, but that's fine. It's all good. Oh wow, it's a Flaribus. Well, you know how it goes. They really like using this boss. I feel like this boss has like shown up a lot of times now. I mean, it's a giant dinner gate. Or giant diner gate. It's pretty good. Leather is still leather. Oh, my bad, that is my phone. Wow. Yeah, you've demonstrated you are frightening in combat given the right circumstances. Given enough time, you are absolutely frightening. What kind of riz does the commander have that he can reduce the amount of blue screening in a critical dull? It's crazy, man. So I think we've still got like one neural log left, right? Yeah, we got one more. What's going on here? For a birthday party? we did what? In one fell swoop, Andorus won the hearts of the maintenance crew. They blacklisted her? The safety was off! Please put your safety back on. Who gave Auntie Andorus a gun? Put that thing away. Yo, they're here! Best sisters. Wow. Yeah. I love these two dorks. I can't wait for them to hit global. Did Lena's art change? Can't tell. Be better than Defy. She's still got the balloons tied to her. Yes. Grimaces with an expression of unbearable anguish. Ah, here are the code names, okay. A cognate? I was literally talking about this earlier. What is a cognate? Of a word having the same linguistic derivation as another. Just like English father and German Vater. Okay. Okay, so it's a cognate of crocodile, as in they both mean crocodile, but I don't know what language. That just confused me even more. Whatever. Yes, it's a name she used in Project Neural Cloud. Wow, so scary. I'll just drag you into the water then. I like their banter. Family forever. We love our 404 dorks. And that is the story up until now. As I thought, there wasn't a lot of it. It was mostly, wait, what? Oh, right, I'm an idiot. It's not that, you click on this. Wow. Yeah, like... it wasn't the most substantial story, but I did appreciate some, like, delving into, like, the backstory of some of these characters. Especially Andorus. I did like exploring more about Andorus, and we got more stuff here. Wow! So cool. Now we can buy a bunch of stuff. Buy Belka's gift, Andorus's gift. Okay, so there's gonna be a second currency for the next part. Okay. Well, I'll just buy a bunch of stuff from here. And we'll look to the future. So next part comes out in 11 days. Ain't that fun? Yeah, it's a long one. I mean, this is a super long event. Like, this ends in 38 days. This comes out in 11, so like 38 days. That's like a month and a bit. That's a crazy amount of time. They must be planning to release at least, like, I'm gonna predict Deep Oblivion's gonna come after this, because this is very 404 focused, and I believe Deep Oblivion is 404 focused as well. Or at least that's when we get Leather, so. And I think with Deep Oblivion, we will be getting the Elmo, like, we'll be getting the Elmo Dormitory update, which will introduce the entire Elmo exploration, which is a very big anticipated update, and I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to it. But I think that's what's next. If it's not, then things are definitely going to be like really slow for like the next couple of months. I mean, we already know they're going to be slow for the next month, because this event lasts for the next 38 days, unless it's going to overlap with something. Which it might do, we don't know that, but there's certainly something that they're up to. And I'm not quite sure what it is. So we will find out when we get there. But for now, that's going to be everything from me tonight. To anyone that was... to anyone that may have been watching this, or is watching this in the future, I hope it's been a cozy time. And I hope that there's been some newfound appreciation for Belka and Andorus. But yeah, that's all. I got nothing else to say. Next stream, I mean, the next stream personally is probably going to be the Gemini Cup in Musume. I'm not gonna try to do the qualifying matches because they take place on like certain days and stuff. I will try to get the finals. Like, the final race, I will try to stream that. Oh, I definitely want to stream that. So, it'll probably be like before, like, I'll do all the, like, qualifying matches by myself, and then I'll do the final on stream. Which will be another short one. It'll be the intro to a bigger stream, I don't know. I don't think it'll coincide with the next GFL stream, but we'll see. But yeah, I've got a lot of things I'm figuring out right now in terms of like my VTuber brand. So I'm hoping to bring more stuff into the public light soon. And by public light, I mean telling my followers and stuff about it, so that people can get excited. But for now, it's kind of quiet. It has been quiet for a few months, but that's just how it is because things happen. But yeah, that's all for now. See you all later. Have a nice evening. Bye. Hold on, I'm gonna dance with QJ before we finish. Get swooned, idiot. Alright. Good night.